Welcome back to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison. We have just seen Arizona open up its 2025 college football season with back-to-back wins starting on a two-game winning streak. First with a 34-point victory over Hawaii as the Wildcats won 40-6. Very impressive defensive showing for the Wildcats. Very impressive rushing showing for the Wildcats where they ran the ball for 183 yards. You saw a lot of good come from that game. Now, Arizona got ready for the Citadel. For Weber State. We'll get to the Citadel later. But for Weber State, and they took care of business. They opened it up on a 48-point unanswered streak. Noah Fafita was phenomenal, nothing short of phenomenal. Brett Brennan had a solid game plan going into this game. And you saw the defense grow on that side of the ball as well. So I think overall it was a great performance for the Wildcats. And you really got to see the naturalization of Noah Fafita, how he got better from one game to the next and his understanding of this playbook. Remember, there's a lot of changes right now for Arizona. 61 new faces on the roster. That's a large number. You have a handful of new coaches, including your offense coordinator and your defense coordinator. So the players are learning new schemes, new systems, and it's not easy. That isn't easy work to do. And for Fafita, now he's had 3 different play callers in 3 different years. So you want to see progression. I think the talent is clearly there, and we saw that against Weber State. Arizona looked sharp. They were moving with speed. They were able to score quick, flip the field, and all of a sudden it was 14-0. So I thought they did a terrific job there. The crowd was somewhat improved. Again, the 2-hour rain delay really didn't help Arizona by any means necessary in that game. When you're delayed 2 hours, it's hard to get fully ready. But the Wildcats were able to do that. The crowd was able to do that. And they came out firing on all cylinders. Touchdown pass, Javian Watley. Another touchdown pass, Javian Watley. And Noah Fafita was very sharp. So I thought, all in all, a very impressive performance. Now, were there issues? Yeah. I think Arizona got called for holding a little too much to what they would like for the offensive line. That has showed improvement. But again, you don't want to be seeing holding penalties stop touchdowns and kill drives, which it did at times for Arizona. I thought they were better in the passing game. I thought the timing was better. I thought everybody kind of knew where they needed to be, which is a better understanding of the playbook. And then defensively, I thought they were a little bit more aggressive than last time out. Again, they gave up 67 total rushing yards and 290 total yards to Hawaii. Danny Gonzalez, he went out and set a goal to do better than that. Arizona matched it and then some. And now it has opened up its season with 2 impressive wins where their FCS opponent and an FBS opponent haven't scored a touchdown in those games. It's the first time Arizona's held their opponents to no touchdowns through the first 2 games, dating back to the 2010 season when Mike Stoops and the Arizona Wildcats beat Toledo 41-2, and then they took care of the Citadel. There's the Citadel at home, winning that game with ease. So highly impressive performance by Arizona. But I wanted to go over some of the key players from the game. Number one, we already talked about him, but I want to talk about him even more, is Noah Fafita. Noah Fafita, again, was spectacular for Arizona, going 17 of 22 through the air, passing 371 total yards passing. Moves into, I believe, into the top 4 all-time in passing touchdowns for Arizona, with 4 passing touchdowns. So for that performance, Noah Fafita gets a helmet sticker. And I think you're going to see a lot more helmet stickers throughout the year for Noah Fafita. I think it's something that shows his progression as a quarterback, the progression of the offense in this offensive scheme, and it gets them set up to have a very successful year. Number 2, I want to talk about Rhino Tapatoa. And last season, he was one of the guys that went down due to injuries. And it wasn't, from what we saw, it wasn't looking good during spring. He had some issues. He was working his way back, but you didn't really know the timetable of how he was going to get back for Arizona. But you saw in training camp, started to wear pads, started to give, I wouldn't say a full go, but more contact than in spring. And the question was, how is he going to be able to handle live reps? So I think that's one of the things that coaches talk about all the time is just getting comfortable with getting hit again. Again, you have a torn ACL and Rhino Tapatoa 6 games into the season last year. You're going to be hesitant at times. Now, was he? I don't know. We didn't get to ask him that during the press conference or Brennan, but I thought he handled the pressure well. He played a very solid right tackle for the Wildcats. Tristan Bounds goes back on the bench, and I think that adds depth to the offensive line. But Tapatoa is one of the leaders on that line, and I thought he played angry. I thought he ran angry in terms of downhill running game. I thought he did a terrific job there, and I thought he did a solid job in the passing game, blocking there. Yes, there are a few sacks, I think 2 in all, that Arizona gave up, but I thought the performance by the offense line was very good, and the offense just kept on getting better and better as the game moved along. So very impressed there. And then defensively, Genesis Smith, I think you can make the argument that Genesis Smith is the best player, not only on this roster, but one of the top 5 players in the Big 12. I see him as a future first-round draft pick, maybe in that lighter half, in that 20 to 32 range. But, he's got to go out and prove it. He had 4 tackles in the first game, I believe 6 or 7 in this past game against Weber State, and an interception. He's a ball hawk all over there, out there on the field for Arizona. You saw it in the bowl game, in the Alamo Bowl. He was able to make plays in the passing game. You saw last season, even though the numbers weren't quite there, when he was asked to play linebacker, asked to play slot, asked to play DB, he played all over the field, and his athleticism just jumps out at you. So I love what I saw from Genesis Smith. I think this was a big game for him in terms of moving forward with momentum, because now you have Kansas State on the radar. Now you have Gunnar Maldonado returning to Tucson, his 3rd Wildcat in his college career after starting at Northwestern, then going to the Arizona Wildcats, and now the Kentucky Wildcats. So there are some storylines. But, I thought it was a very good game for Genesis Smith, getting back to the helmet stickers. And I think it's an area where he can grow upon it. He could become that Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year and take off from this game on. I thought it was a terrific game for him. I thought it was a terrific game for the offensive line, and I thought it was a terrific game for Noah Fafita. Again, he finished with 373 yards total passing, 5 touchdown passes, which was the most that he's thrown since the previous seasons. That's tied his career high. The career high for Arizona, well, the game high, I should say, for Arizona is 6. Jaden Delora, Tom Tunnicliffe have done that. Noah Fafita has now come close twice, but can he get over that hump? Who knows? And he also moves into 4th in terms of touchdown passes all time, finishing right now with 50. And he's only 8 touchdown passes behind Khalil Tate, or some of you love to call him the Saguaro Ghost, the Desert Ghost, stuff like that, for his month of October. But I think Arizona's in a great position right now, and it's thanks to those 3 players. And now you're looking at an Arizona team that could potentially go to a bowl game. It starts with these games. Again, now you're 2-0. Last year, you lost 8 of your last 7 games. It was not getting the job done. So I think it was an impressive game for Fafita. I think it was an impressive game for Rhino Tapatoa. An impressive job by the coaching staff, rotating guys in and out, and then an impressive job for Genesis Smith as well. Overall, I thought it was a terrific game. You have 3 players with helmet stickers. A couple of them, will definitely win more helmet stickers throughout the season. So be sure to check out Arizona Wildcats on SI. Check out our Twitter account at Arizona Wildcats on SI, or me, Troy Hutchison, at Arizona Wildcats at T Hutch 1995. I write for Arizona Wildcats on SI. And we'll have more coverage as the weeks move along. Now, this week is a shorter week. Kansas State is going to be a Friday night game. That's going to be a 5 p.m. kickoff in Tucson. not exactly under the lights, but as the lights are coming on. So terrific atmosphere I expect for this game. Arizona's kind of earned it. They've started off 2-0, and now they are on the precipice of potentially making the AP poll and getting themselves in a position for the college football playoffs if they keep on rolling here. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I think the main thing should be to focus on, can you get to a bowl game? And that's Arizona's number one goal right now. But we will have more coverage, like I said, as the week moves along. Stay tuned for more.